This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
New on Curiosity Stream, the Arctic, frigid, desolate, unforgiving. And without canine companions, early humans never stood a chance. Discover how man and dog learned to thrive together where neither could survive alone in Ice Dogs. Plus,
why would a Nazi major be protecting and saving Jews?
Against orders, against time, the SS Major that sheltered and saved thousands of Jews. It's the Good Nazi. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Jeanette Reyes, who is an anchor at Fox 5 in Washington, D.C., pulled a great prank on a phone scammer by pretending to go live on TV as an investigative reporter who has the FBI on the line tracking the call.
Awesome.
Of course, the scammer's like, I'm out.
Hello, can I speak to Jeanette Reyes?
This is she?
Hello, Jeanette. I'm calling in regards to an outstanding warrant we have for your arrest.
I didn't know about that. Can I just pay for it now?
Yes, we can clear up this matter if you're able to make a payment right now with a debit or credit card. Go ahead with the number, please.
It's 321. Good evening. We are live on television right now with an investigation into scam callers. We have the FBI on the line. They are tracking this phone number as we speak. Sir, what is your full name again?
Awesome. Elon Musk's kid, his name is beep, beep, beep.
I'm going to have to remember that one. That's a great way to do it.
Well, you know how else it works is just not answering your phone if you don't know the number. That's how I avoid all these scam calls. I get the voicemails and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't sound right. I'm just going to the internet and check.
Oh, it's a beating. I just got a text from my wife today. She just said, hey, I woke up to this text. It says that BECU says we got a lot of issues with our account and it's urgent. She said, I didn't want to hit the link before I let you know, but she said, that's what I woke up to. And I'm like, yeah, it's a scam, honey. Don't. I mean,
don't click any links.
My favorite is the Amazon one that I've been getting a lot lately where it's like, oh, hey, this is Amazon and we have a problem with your order. I'm like, cool, I haven't ordered anything in probably 3 months. So
the problem is I'm not ordering things.
Enjoy that.
Right.
That is the problem.
I get like the Facebook one too sometimes. It's like, we noticed something suspicious and blah, 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 your account. And then you click on, not click on, but you like hit the open up the email address.
Yeah.
And the email address is like BillyBob6943 at some weird email address that I've never heard of. And I'm like, oh, so Facebook's not sending something from Facebook.com. They're just sending something from some random third party account.
Oh, yeah, that's how that works.
I used to not be I used to really not be a capital punishment guy. I'm like, look, I don't believe in capital punishment for pretty much anything. I really believe that if we can, keep the person out of society and help them out, get them the proper therapy they need and make sure that the public is protected, I'm all for putting my tax money towards that. But actually, I do believe in capital punishment for phone scammers.
Yeah.
You know what? There's no rehabilitating them. There's no hope for them. Get them off the face of the planet. I'm done with them. The text scammers, the phone scammers, all the email scammers, because I have to deal with this so much with people in my life who check with me, and I'm just like, oh my God, and it's always older people older than me that go, hey, you know what? I mean, this just happened. I'm like, no, it didn't happen. You're fine. The FBI's not looking for you.
How about we line up, whoever the person is that's the scammer, you line them up, and then you have just a slew of old people that have had to deal with scammers. Just each person gets to get one shot on that person as they go through.
Oh.
Because that'd be fun on the internet watching old people beat him up or her up.
I like that idea.
Yeah. And they can use their cane. They can do whatever they want. They can, hold him down with the walker while the other one beats him in the head with the cane.
Whoa! Hardcore.
Wow, this is extreme. I mean, I was just going to use
a death match, old people versus the scammers.
Yeah, I was just going to recommend lethal injection, but if you want to do it that way, to basically for capital punishment, I want these people gone. I really have such disdain for phone scammers.
Yeah, but which one gets more likes and retweets?
That's a good point.
All right,
fine. That's more important in life.
Do it for the gram
Come on.
there.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that.
The TikTok.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about the TikTok. You're right.
I do actually end up watching a lot of people on TikTok. There's a couple of them that'll answer those scam calls and then just see how long they can keep them on the line. And fortunately for me with TikTok, it's like a minute-long video, so I don't actually have to see, go through the whole thing.
Right.
But they do the best hits, basically, and it's really funny, actually.
I do love that was the woman that answered the call because she's obviously an actual news reporter, and so she was able to put on the news reporter voice, which was really fun to hear.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I didn't realize just how much that news reporter voice was put on, but yeah, she went right into it. You're right.
Can any of us do the news reporter voice?
Ooh.
I don't think so.
I'm trying to think.
3, 2, 1. We are live in studio as Steve the Mixer. Oh, I almost called you Steve the producer.
This is poor prep. You're already fired.
I'm already done. Well, I failed. Anybody else want to give it a shot?
All right. Let's see. All right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to keep your dogs and cats inside. If you have your air conditioning on, I'd suggest that you keep it at a high of 69 degrees because that would be nice.
Nice.
More news at 11.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
3, 2, 1. We have a backup on the I-5. This is Danny V, your traffic reporter. Please check.
Are you in a chopper?
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it. There you go.
We are up in the chopper. Chopper 7 news today, so please be careful when you're driving in today. It's very bad. Back to you, Steve.
It's very
bad.
Thanks, Danny. Today's high, 69 degrees. Not really, but it is nice.
Nice.
All right, now we're going to go to sports with Vicky Barcelona.
Why is the helicopter still going during sports?
Because she's flying over T-Mobile Field.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, this is a really good report.
Hi, this is Vicky Barcelona for KISW, and we are flying over the stadium where we see the Sounders playing, and everyone is losing their mind. We also see the Mariners are playing, but nobody cares. Back to you.
I think Vicky might win this one.
That's true to life on that one.
We got one more. Wait. Rev on the field. Where's Rev going to be?
Where's Rev at?
Rev's like the danger boy. He's out outside.
Or he could be the fluff guy. The one that's
Excuse me? That's going to be the fluffer?
The fluff guy.
What news reports are you watching?
No, the one that tells the feel-good stories. Like, they did the crumble biggest cookie today.
Oh, like Eric's Eric's Heroes.
Yeah.
That kind of story. Okay.
Rev's Tiny Warriors.
Excuse me?
Wow.
It's little heroes.
Happens to be the nickname that he's given a certain part of his body.
And now it's time for Rev with his Tiny Warriors segment.
Hey everyone, it's Rev with Rev's Tiny Warriors. We're down on the field next to a bunch of little tiny children hanging out with puppies next to all of the Sounders players. Oh, look at that puppy kick a ball. Isn't that adorable? Back to you.
Ooh, he does have that good news announcer voice.
I think I'm putting my money on Vicky, but Rev is a close second.
Yeah, Vicky wins on that one. That was amazing.
All right, there you go.
Do we dare bring your son in for this?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we got that's right.
He does sports too because he knows about basketball.
All right, we should probably get Sarah in too. It's only a fair competition.
Right, of course. Now we're in the middle of a sibling rivalry. News at 11. Okay, so Joe, I'm thinking either you're going to be our finance reporter or you're going to give us an update on the NBA playoffs.
I feel like NBA playoffs is right, but I feel like I have to come from the local bar. So I might be a little hammered. So I might be the drunk news reporter.
Okay, are you in a helicopter in the local bar?
Of course.
All right.
I mean, wouldn't he be?
And now it's time for sports with Joey D's Nuts.
Well, hello, everyone. Joey D's here from your local bar drinking some whiskey. LeBron James is out of the playoffs. Unfortunately, he's lost. He didn't make the buzzer beater, but I got a shot of whiskey out of it because Danny sucked and bet that he wouldn't make it. That's all I got here from the helicopter that's apparently flying in the bar.
Well, I mean, you're drinking. We should probably land this helicopter.
Yeah,
that's very irresponsible.
Say back to you, Joe.
Back to you, Steve?
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Now it's time to talk about fashion with our fashion reporter.
Yeah.
Ooh, Sarah.
From the chopper. I think you really hit her in not her wheelhouse at all.
Oh, what's your wheelhouse? Oh,
No.
Reality television report.
Okay, all right.
What do you
All
want?
right.
What do you want me to do?
We can do fashion. I'll go with it.
All right, fine.
Whatever you feel like. This is your segment.
Okay.
We'll just call it It's Your Segment.
It's
with
now
Sarah.
time for Sarah and her segment.
What? Okay.
Well, this just in. Steve is wearing this beautiful romper with bedazzles on it. BJ is twerking it up in this nice Captain Marvel shirt. And Vicky is wearing absolutely nothing because that's how we like it. Back to you,
Wow.
Danny.
Danny.
See, I know fashion.
Yeah.
A romper, a shirt, and being naked.
This is Captain America, by the way.
I don't know. It's some superhero thing.
Well, I'm wearing a bedazzled romper, which does
Yeah,
sound
you
comfortable.
are.
Actually, kind of, yeah, right?
That
And
is pretty
beautiful.
good. Oh, yeah.
So
You
is
were
that-
rocking it in my mind when I was envisioning it.
So I just tuned in. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, this. By the way, in case you know, this was not something planned. We didn't have a show prep meeting for this one.
So said now Vicky has yet another idea for her OnlyFans content.
That's a good point.
Wearing
very, very good
absolutely
point.
nothing.
Doing a
I
news
like this
report.
plan.
Oh, yeah, naked news.
Naked News with Vicky B.
Whoa.
Okay, then.
Could we call this a hard-hitting report?
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
A deep dive into current events.
Oh, my.
On Channel 69.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Okay, I'm not going to contribute to this kind of entertainment.
Fair.
It's you know.
Oh, now you've got standards.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got.
Because his daughter's in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
that's why.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. People are asked to name things that they have to pretend to know about so they don't look stupid.
Oh.
And more than 60% of us do this, by the way, with at least one topic where we go, you know what, we're gonna pretend we know what we're doing.
This is
We
why I
really
take
don't.
pride in just being stupid and just telling people I'm just stupid. I don't understand. Like anything that I should know, I still say I'm ignorant to. And that way, I've set the bar so low, BJ, that if I even have any inkling of information about something, they're like, wow, you're not as dumb as we thought.
Manage those expectations.
Yes.
Well, that's you don't have that pride thing, which is really a good
That
thing.
pride thing.
Yeah,
You
screw
know?
pride.
Yeah.
What's that going to get me? Doesn't pay
Well,
my bills.
listen, man. I'm not going to fault you on that one. I mean, the idea that you go into it with what they call it in the world of the of the enlightened would be beginner's mind. If you go in going, I don't know anything, that's they say is the best way to approach life. So you're winning at that point.
Like, even if people ask me questions about like what we do for a living, I've been doing this forever. I'll still kind of like say, look, this is just my opinion. I'm not going to act like as if it's fact. Whereas some people will talk with like such confidence, like it's what they're saying is the fact, and you're like, well, I bet you're just bull-assing me.
Yeah, I've.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
New on Curiosity Stream. Are we close to building machines that are almost human? And can new technology give us superpowers? Find out on Super Sapiens. And
In 1919, a British composer wrote the longest and most complex symphony in history. Conductors tried to perform it, but failed, declaring it cursed. Now a group of musicians will attempt the impossible, if they dare, on Curse of the Gothic Symphony. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Always worried about what people thought about me, so to look like I was ignorant in a particular area that I'm supposed to, especially growing up as a dude in the 60s and 70s, there were man's man things that you were supposed to know, and if you didn't know them, it really was like a shot at you, like, oh, well, you're a loser.
Well, I think what they call it nowadays, they call it imposter syndrome, a lot of people, and I feel like that's something that, like, I'm battling all the time with everything that I do, even if I'm doing something well, I'm like, no, I'm completely just a phony. And I'm telling myself this, and I'm like, wait, no one else views me that way, but like I'm telling myself that. It's like it's such a weird thing that gets in your head, but I feel like a lot of people are battling that.
So that's a weird thing. You've got imposter syndrome, which is when you really are qualified and you don't believe you are. Right. And then you've got the pretend syndrome where you're pretending to be qualified about things you really are not qualified about.
Yeah, because I'm curious now, what are these things? And I bet you anything, I'm going to just full on say I'm an idiot when it comes to them. Spoiler alert.
The first one for me, oh man, it's hard because I know nothing about this, and I don't know too many people on our show that care about this either. And it is the ultimate dude's thing to care about, especially traditional dude things to care about, and that's cars and car repairs.
Yep, I know nothing about cars.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I don't even. I wish I did, man. Like I wish in the school, I heard the stories back in the day, like certain schools had like an auto class where like you learned how to take apart a car and things. I wish they had that at my school because I'm just so clueless to so many. Anything that I know about my car is because I've messed it up and I had to figure out how to fix it. And more often than not, I learned it from YouTube.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I will tell you this though, Steve. At least the people that I know that like love to work on their own cars complain how the new computerization of everything makes it so you really can't.
That's something I'm good at. I'm good at searching things on YouTube. I can say that with confidence.
Oh, all right. Well,
Nice.
Let's see. Is that on the list?
I'm crossing my arms like I'm like the guy.
Yeah, your Google foo is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
great
guess
at looking for answers.
I guess conversations about the latest gadgets or new tech, is that kind of
No.
in that?
Okay,
not
close.
I tried to help you.
BJ, I spent about 40 minutes yesterday trying to figure out how to turn my lock off of my phone.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I was on the actual part where it was right there. I just kept glossing over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you wouldn't quite, then that's something that, you don't know about it. But at least you're not lying about it. You're not pretending you know more about tech, because people do that a lot. They pretend they know more about gadgets and tech than they do.
Well, the thing that's awkward is when people assume that because you are a certain way, you're going to know things. Like, because I do like learning about, carpentry and like learning how to build things and do stuff with tools, that I would know anything about cars. And so they start talking to me like I do know. And I'm just sitting there nodding my head like, when do I tell them I have absolutely no idea what they just said? Like, they're speaking another language to me. And it's like, I don't want to lie to them, but I also don't want to be rude and tell them to stop. Because they seem really excited to talk about it. Just like, I don't know.
Well, that to me, that's a human being that needs to be aware. And that's the question I ask all the time is like, do you know if the person you're talking to actually cares about what you're talking about? Because you can read a face.
standing right next to you to say that to the guy.
Yeah. That's all.
Let me call BJ real quick. He'll talk to you.
You let me know. You call me anytime you want me to Larry David that moment. I will. I will be there for you. I really love that kind of stuff. Well, Vicky, here's something that I think you've become a lot better at ever since you've been a homeowner, but I know a lot of people pretend they know more about it, and that's home improvement stuff.
Like, I don't know a lot, but I do know I feel like a lot more than the average girl. Like, because I'll start talking about the difference between, like a drill and an impact driver, and people are looking at me like I'm either crazy or I'm trying to
I
sound
have no
fancy.
idea what I wouldn't know the difference between a drill and impact driver. So you got me
I didn't learn until last year. So hey,
Yeah, and I even try to hang up like pictures in my house so that they're like they're set up perfectly, like as far as like distance in between each one. Like we had a series of 4 framed pictures that we're putting in Tatum's bedroom. It took me I overthought this and I made it way more difficult than it needed to be when I was just like trying to do math, and that's another thing I'm just not very good at. So I was like, dude, what should have taken me like maybe a half hour took me like 3 hours because I just didn't want it. I didn't want it to be even slightly off. Like I didn't want it to even be off by like a half an inch. So my quest to be perfect took way too long. I'm like, I'm just going to stick with things not being perfect. It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah.
This one here, number 4, is really a problem because, sometimes you really listen to your friends and hope that they can be helpful. And that's when they talk more about tax knowledge than they know. When they start talking financial stuff and tax stuff and they do not know what they're talking about, that's irritating because you could really make some wrong moves in your life based on your idiot friends who really don't know what they're talking about.
To the moon!
Dude, it's funny you said. First of all, like most of my friends that want to give me financial advice are broke. So I'm like, why am I going to take any advice from you? Like,
good call.
But Rev, that's funny you said that because obviously with like all the short squeezes and like the meme stocks and like so my buddies were like, you got to do this. So I joined in on the AMC stuff, and still to this day, when my wife asked me, so what exactly are we doing? I'm like, no idea. I just bought some stuff and I'm hoping for the best. And she's like, don't you want to even know? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever, I'm not going to be smart enough to figure this crap out. So I'm just kind of there for the ride. And I was like, we're just going to spend some money that we don't care if we lose. And more, from what I'm reading, it seems like it's doubtful we'll even lose a dime. Maybe make a couple of bucks. But if we can make a buttload of cash because we're stupid and we just followed my friend's lead, awesome.
Yeah, it's you're playing the lottery basically with money you don't care to lose, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but I've had people approach me with schemes like that, and I always funnel them through a good friend of mine who used to work for Paul Allen as one of his venture capitalists. So it's like, all right, this guy knows money, so let me. And he was always kind. He was always kind to me when I brought him these harebrained schemes that were given to me by my friends, and today, now that I'm older, I realize they were like, pieces of paper. They weren't even professional documents. Somebody just like wrote on them and I'd hand them to him. Hey, is this a good investment? It's like scribbled on. And he was always really patient and kind. He knew I was a financial idiot, but he really was really kind. And the one thing he told me, he's like, look, I will never give you financial advice. He said, anybody who's made the kind of money that I've made and who's just responsible will never tell you what to do with your money. We'll always tell you to go get a financial advisor because that's just inappropriate for me to do. Even if I know exactly what I'm doing, I would never tell you what to do with your money. He said, anybody who's, that's just what successful people do. They're appropriate.
Plus, for him, I bet he doesn't want to deal with that stress of like, what if he tells you to do something and that's one of the things that didn't pan out, and then you got to now. Right. Then you're gonna have him, like maybe whoever it is that he tells, you or someone else, just like barking at his door, like, I lost $10,000 because of you.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, which is why I used to go to him. I would say, look, I don't care if you think I should invest. I want to know if you'd invest in this. If you invest in this, then, who doesn't want to make money? I mean, the people used to come to me and go, dude, do you know how much money we could make? Well, then you go to a person that has a lot of money, like Steve. Maybe you sacrifice $300. Well, this person that I know could sacrifice maybe $300,000. So I'd go to him and go, wow, you know what? If he puts his money towards this, then it's got to be a good thing. Never did he ever. And everything I brought to him, I said, would you do this? He'd go, no.
Oh,
and he had the money that he could just throw it away like that and do it, and he still wouldn't do it because he's like
throwing away $300,000 into this stock thing. I would already be retired because I did pretty well on the minimal amount that I've put in because I got in pretty low. But but I didn't have $300,000 just to blow and didn't care if I lost it. That would have been a tough conversation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I went to him because he made his money by basically using his money wisely that he had. So that's the person I go to for financial advice. It's like, you know how to make money. Does this sound like a good deal to you? And he would go. All he would say is, I wouldn't do it. He wouldn't say, look, do what you want. I would suggest you get a financial advisor. Don't talk to me.
Wouldn't it be funny if he always said I wouldn't do it, but then he did it and he made even more money? He's like, this guy keeps coming to me, giving me great advice, and he's so stupid he's not doing it either.
That would be, then I would realize that he's not as good of a friend as I thought he was.
Now you're just putting that in BJ's brain.
All right, how about this one? Someone just texted in. People act like they know more about parenting than they really do. From T in Tacoma.
Anybody who's a good parent. And Steve, I hope I've been really good like this because I really gave you bad relationship advice because you ended up being with the woman of your dreams. So I didn't know what I was talking about. But I really decided in my life, it's like the best thing you can do for a parent is to go, don't worry, man, you will figure it out and not give any other advice. I think hopefully I don't feel like I've ever told you what to do with your kid at all because what the hell do I know? I know I raised 2 kids, but honestly, I stumbled around in that, and it's a whole different time now. I mean, you're raising your little one pretty much 30 years after I raised my little ones.
Right. You didn't
So
have
much has
Coco
changed.
Melon, man. You didn't have to deal with that kind
Okay,
of
I did give you that advice and told you to find a way to run away from that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, there's all you can do is just tell a person, dude, you're going to figure it out. You will figure it out because you love your kid. You guys will figure it out. You'll get into a rhythm. It will happen. My only advice to anybody is just make sure you make time for the two of you because you're not going to have as much two of you time as you did before. But that's not about raising your kid. That's just like, don't forget you two really were an item before the new little item came in.
Yeah, dude, every day I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. As long as she's breathing, I feel like we've accomplished a pretty good day. Like that's really like, you know what I mean? Like as long as you don't do anything that harms them, like
yeah.
But like there's gonna be lots of things like she's gonna fall, she's gonna hurt herself, she's gonna do all this. As long as like, but like you said it. I know Thrill said it to me. One of the best pieces of advice he ever said was like, stop stressing. It's just somehow you figure it out. I have no idea why, but we just do. It's just something in us, and he's absolutely right. Like it just. But I'm not gonna I would never think to go up to someone who has like a kid and be like, let me tell you how to raise your child.
Oh yeah, so many people
so
do.
messed up.
I used to have fights with a friend of mine because he would pull Sarah aside a lot and tell her how she should live her life. And I remember looking at him and I'm like, dude, you have two kids yourself. You know what I do when I talk to your two kids? I say, hey, how you doing? How's school? What's happening? And then I shut up. Why would I get in the way of whatever you and your wife have been trying to do to basically shape their lives? They're basically versions of you two. And you two live a different life than me. So whatever I believe is the way a kid should be or way I don't know how your kids are like you, which means it's probably completely wrong. So stop telling my kid what to do.
That'd be great if you're like, you two suck, so your kid's probably going to suck too.
Well, I mean, honestly, that was the parenthetical part of the conversation that I just never said. It was in my head. But it's so true. It's like, their kid, those two were two different type of people, and you could tell their kids were going to be some version of the dad or the mom, and they're nothing like me. So why would I then give them my sort of life lessons?
I know one that people love to talk about, and Joe, you probably deal with this too, because I know you go to the gym a lot. It's the people that want to tell you how like fitness and like the things to do.
Yes.
And it's just like, I couldn't, and it's always someone who's not in shape. I'm like, wow. Oh, it's like the broke friend giving you financial advice. It's like then like an out of shape friend that's telling you how to do a proper sit up, and you're like, when have you done one?
Dude, it's the guy in jeans with Crocs who's giving you advice.
Hey, what?
Yeah,
never mind. Wow, that was very specific.
Yeah,
Sure
way too specific. I'm not at the gym though, but I mean, 2 out of 3 right there.
Yeah, but you know what? There are some people that do give you that advice, and you go, "Do you really know what you're talking about?"
And I see lots of swole guys at my gym wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, that seems to be the thing.
Oh no, I could never do it. I need that ankle support for when I'm doing my weightlifting.
Yeah, I see plenty of people. A lot of people though, they're doing their workout with their I was going to say their feet off, their shoes off. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
if they took
I
their
hate
feet
when
off.
those Kathy Bates people come in and take the feet off.
It's such a weird thing, man. I guess your deadlifts are better when your feet are off of you.
Well, I don't know if it's the yoga world because, in yoga, they do everything with their shoes and socks off. It's always bare feet in that world. So I don't know if it's a carryover. I have no idea.
It's a grip thing, but
is it like you grip the floor better?
I guess.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. Well, I'm not, I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to say that they're wrong.
That's why a lot of guys that do deadlift stuff, I noticed that are wearing like flat. They wear like the flat shoes as opposed to like an arch.
They don't wear high heels?
No, I still do.
Wow. Okay.
But like, I'll wear like Vans or like Chuck Taylors while they do like on a leg day.
Oh, okay. Because as a person that's never lifted a weight in his life, let me tell you, high heels are the way to go. Thank you.
It's good for your calves.
Vicky's right. Your ass looks great when you're doing that deadlift, Steve. Come on.
It's the only time my ass looks good.
Hey, here's a shocker, by the way. On this
for life.
We don't have to say much about this, but does this shock anyone that people give you plenty of advice about politics but don't know what they're talking about?
Oh, really? Shocking.
Yeah. I know, that shocked. I was surprised to see that on the list.
And they don't even wait to ask if you want any advice on that one. They'll just give it to you.
I know, and they are just clueless. I mean, they really, really are. It's
Everyone.
like, thank you for quoting your favorite news network. Shut up. Really.
Oh, no, they're quoting usually like their friend who posted a meme about something. And I'm just like, where's the real facts about this? It's right here.
I'm right here.
That's a screenshot of your friend's Facebook post. That's not a legit source.
I know. Yeah, it is. And I'm happy to say that I'm clueless about everything on this list. I really am because, look, it's, why? Because board games are not on the list. And even then some might argue I don't know about them either. But you know what? At least that's an argument that I can at least try to win.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.